Hello, it's Daphne here, host and producer of the Transplanted podcast. Decided we'd just go ahead and throw a few words in here for the next few episodes, anyways. We have been completely backlogged with episodes. I'm looking right now, and I think I got 7 or 8 episodes here that have been recorded. We just haven't released them. There's just been a lot going, especially over the last month and a half. I think it's been almost 2 months since we've released an episode. So we just wanted to let everybody know, yeah, we understand that a lot of these episodes are behind. They are somewhat backdated, if you will. We have some, I think, that were recorded right around Thanksgiving, heading into Christmas. I think there's three from last year, and then we have, oh shit, I don't know, another 4 or 5 from this year. So I mean, there's a lot that we've done. We just haven't got caught up on yet. We just wanted to give you a heads up that we understand these are from the past. We just wanted to give you context that these have been recorded whenever they were recorded. Um, we're trying to play catch up. Like I said, there's a lot that's happened. We moved offices. There's also been some different medical issues that we've been running into. You probably see my crutches back here. I'm almost full time on crutches right now. We're in and out of the hospital and doctor's offices a lot. Like, oh my God, I want away from the damn hospitals. Uh, Anyway, enough of that. The point is, we've just had a lot going on. We've pretty well got to where we're ready to go again. We've recorded, I think, 2 or 3 episodes here in the last couple of weeks. We've also had, some people that canceled recordings for various reasons. And so this is just letting you know we haven't gone anywhere. We're still here. The other thing that you'll find is that social media, we got absolutely banned. I did anyway. I did. I got banned from several of the social medias, anything owned by Meta, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, all of them. I got completely banned from. We have no idea why, where it came from. It happened over the course of 2 minutes, where I received an email, and then 2 minutes later, it was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you're banned," and there's no real reason behind it, and I can't appeal it. So. Uh, Anyway, the point is, this isn't like a little bitch session here. The point is that since I got banned from it, all of our socials have been messed with, and it's been a nightmare trying to put this stuff back together. So right now, the Transplanting Facebook page is not owned by anybody. I'm trying to get it back up. If I can't get it back up, then I am going to go ahead and start a new Facebook page for the Transplant Podcast, and we're going to hope that doesn't get all fucked up also. So anyway, just there's a lot going on. If you would like to be on our podcast, always reach out to me. You can reach me, Daphne, Daphne, Daphne at transplantedpodcast.com. My email is still running. I'm still here. You can still reach me on a lot of the socials. Just Facebook is the hard one to get me through right now. If you set up an interview with me, because I have interviews set up for the next several months, if you set up an interview with me and we have a date scheduled, but it was set up through Facebook, I probably don't have a way to contact you right now. So please reach out to me through the email or Facebook, not Facebook. There we go again, right? Yeah, reach out to me through the website, anything like that. Just find another way to contact me, or reach out to me. You can also find me, Daphne Lane, on Facebook if you're just looking to meet me. It's got a picture like that because, fuck, I'm sexy. Gotta own it, right? So anyway, reach out, find me. Let's go ahead and get in contact again. Make sure that we can keep these going. If you haven't been a part of this yet and you would like to, reach out to me. All of this is great. If you have friends and people that are struggling, especially right now, politics are really fucking shitty right now. Uh, share the podcast. This is one of the biggest things you can do to help us. We're listened to in 18 countries currently and growing, and it's one of the most exciting things for me. I get to see all these stats come in, and yeah, reach out to us, share us, share the YouTube channel, the Spotify, all these things. That makes a big help. We are supported by Clear Noise Media. Which is something I'm going to start mentioning here over all the episodes. But also, if you would like to sponsor the podcast, let us know. We'd be happy to add some ads for other kinds of. support and sponsorship available. So anyway, I'm babbling at this point. Reach out to me, Daphne at Transplanted Podcast. Thank you so much. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate your, I want to say reliability, but that's not the right word. Fuck, what do you call it? Where you just, whatever. We love you guys. Thank you for following us. It means a lot to us. And enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to the Transplanting Podcast. My name is Bear, of course, joined by the lovely Daphne.
They're footballs.
Football.
They're footballs.
Football
yes, they're
earrings.
football earrings. I did it because ASU and U of A always play right around Thanksgiving, and it's always
Nice.
like one of the fucking best games ever. So, yeah, go Arizona.
Go Arizona.
Forks. Okay. Actually, that would be Arizona State, not Arizona. Arizona's U of A, and screw them. We got ASU.
14.
Anyway, the point is they play
Okay.
football. It's one of the longest running, I think it's the longest running rivalry in college football. So,
I would agree.
yes, anyway, it's amazing. I love them. So,
Cool.
today I've had the thing on Bear the entire time. Today, we are...
It's just my reactions, like, as you're doing the intro, I'm just like, that's great.
So today we brought in someone special. We have been looking for members of the military to come on and talk about their experiences, leading through, especially all the things that have been happening lately in politics, right? And I lucked out. We ended up getting a hold of a few, and they've came on. So today we got what? It's him.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that?
We're hearing you breathe.
Oh my gosh. How do I make that stop? Because otherwise you're just going to hear it the whole time. I don't know. Yeah. I'll just try harder not to breathe into the thing.
Just don't breathe ever.
Just don't breathe.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Anyway, the point is, I got one today, and what's fun about this is the person today is also named Bear. So we have Bear and Bear, and this
Yeah.
is going to be a fun conversation. I'm really excited about this. Anyway, so welcome to the podcast, Bear.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Grr.
Grr.
Grr. The grr.
Oh my god. All right. Well, so Bear, you had
Yeah.
reached out to me. Oh my god. And thus it starts.
Oh, no.
So you had reached out to me about coming on. You wanted to share some of your story, and you had sent me a YouTube channel link that I went ahead and did watch through, where it shared a lot of your experience after you had signed on with the military. But I thought maybe we kind of jump into going up into that, maybe share just a little more of your story before you signed on with the military, and let's just kind of walk through it.
Let's just go from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So thanks for having me on. Thanks for putting out the inquiry that I was able to reply to. And just as, a general disclaimer for everybody, this is my own thoughts, my own views. I don't represent the views of the United States Air Force, the Department of Defense, and everything that I'm going to say today are my own opinions and my own views.
Of
So,
course.
so yeah, getting into it from the beginning. Not the beginning, right? Like, let me let you know who I am, right? So I am Nicholas Bade. I go by my middle name, which is Bear, which has an interesting backstory. So maybe Bear and I will get to that at some point during the
We'd
episode.
love to hear it.
But yeah, maybe we'll get to that part. But basically, I've been in the United States Air Force since March of 2019, and I have been a staff sergeant since March of 2024. So it's and Staff Sergeant E5 in the Air Force, not Army Staff Sergeant, which is E6. So if you do the math, that means I was in for 5 years when I actually put on the rank of Staff Sergeant. So that gives you an idea of kind of how my career has gone. And I joined really thinking, first of all, I joined at age 38, and I really was like, okay, this is going to be my life for the next 20 years. And I had, first I had aspirations about the career field that I joined, and then I started kind of getting drawn in a different direction. But my goal was to serve for 20 years, if not more, and then like fully retire and be like, okay, I'm just a retired person now.
All right.
So yeah, that's kind of like that's the short version of like my career so far. My backstory. So, we go back to the 80s, right? Like get in the Wayback Machine and go back to the 1980s. That's when I was born and raised. So I literally, some of my earliest memories were, the AIDS epidemic and crisis and stuff like that. And that really informed a lot of my childhood. But as far back as I could remember, I would answer the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would say a boy. And like, I didn't understand, you don't understand when you're a child, like if they're asking you about your career path, like, do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a lawyer? Like, no, I want to be a boy. And I genuinely thought that was a thing, like that there was a certain point in your life, I didn't know what puberty was yet, but I thought like there was a point where you got like a choice and there was a switch that you got to flip and you got to develop, one way or the other. And unfortunately, in the 80s, they didn't have, there were words for being trans, right? Trans was already a thing, but it wasn't as common. We didn't have the internet yet. And so my parents and the people, in my life, they didn't have a way to define what I was saying to them. And instead, they kind of, having been assigned female at birth, they just kind of thought like, oh, your kid's going to be, your kid's going to be like, gay, and like, I remember people like looking at me like, and looking at my parents when I would say I want to be a boy when I grow up, and they'd be like, uh-oh, like, this is a problem.
I want to be a real boy. I want to be a real boy.
Yeah, I'm a real boy. And then, furthermore, I was also raised in the Roman Catholic Church, and I know y'all have talked to a lot of religious members, and I'm like, oh man, I want to talk to you about my journey, but no, stay here. Stay in this lane. But I remember, like, before my sister was born, which was 1988, so I was like 7 maybe, I remember a teacher, again, I was, assigned female at birth, and my parents wouldn't let me cut my hair off, but they let me dress like a tomboy, and I was sitting backwards on the chair in the classroom at Sunday school, and like a boy, like boy style, that's just what we called it, and the teacher was like, oh, remember that God made Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve? And I was like, what does that mean? Like, what is that? I didn't, like, and now when I reflect on it, I get really mad because I'm like, how dare you say that to a child? I didn't even know what straight sex was, and you're warning me about gay sex, right? And then she was like, oh, and also God sent, like, the AIDS as a punishment against, like, gay people, and just remember that God made Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve. And I remember that this is like 1987, y'all. I remember being so confused. And yeah, like Bear, you look like you just like so much to say right now. Like you're in so much pain. Yeah, I'm so glad I don't remember that teacher's name, because it's just such an inflammatory memory. Like, how dare you say that to a child?
You barely remember.
Barely remember.
And I remember I talked to my rabbi about that when I converted to Judaism. Like, I was like, I have such bad religious trauma around being a queer kid during the AIDS crisis in the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah.
It just, and it informs a lot of the ways that I interact now, because I'm graced with the opportunity to teach Sunday school, and I have kids asking about, like,
You're
what does
still
non-binary
religious?
mean and stuff, Oh yeah, I'm a practicing Reformed Jew, with the plan to go to seminary one day. I'm working on a bachelor's in world religions, so I'm super curious about how people view and interact with what I like to call God energy.
Oh,
I'm super
we are
curious
so
about
gonna
that.
have a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's why I emailed you last week being like, we need to be careful about going over this time, because you asked me to come on as a
Well, I
trans
was
military
gonna
member.
say we could do it anytime. Like,
You
we
know?
don't have to do it right this minute.
Yeah, so let's put a pin in that, right? Like, but that was some of my earliest memories, right? Was saying I'm a boy, and having people say you're gonna go to hell for being gay, because we just didn't know what trans was, right? And then the general kind of experiences of a queer trans child, right? Like I had all sorts of coaching and all this stuff, and people saying like, couldn't you just try to like act normal? And I was constantly trying to cut my hair short, and I was getting coached on how to walk. I remember that was a big one, like how to, as I was developing into a teenager, how to walk like a lady.
Did you have the
because I walked too square.
Did you have the hold aspirin between your knees?
No, that sounds awful.
I told that to a friend the other night, Bryn.
Yeah.
So I told it to her the other night. I was like, no, you keep it aspirin. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, so your legs are closed. That's how you keep your legs closed like a lady.
Right. I heard of that too, but I'm so bow-legged I can't do that.
Yeah. I have an X pattern in structural therapy. They talk about your knees going in and out. That is a typical female pattern because the female pelvis tilts inward. Mm-hmm. So I have that X pattern. So it actually would be really easy for me to hold something between my knees. But no, nobody ever coached me on that. Like it was like they were trying to get me to sway, and I was doing all this like weird body movement, and I don't know. It's just like the general.
I sway.
Like
I never excelled at that either. I'm a brick of cheese.
Brick of cheese.
I'm not flexible, is what I mean.
Who's this brick of cheese?
Me, I'm a brick of cheese. I have no flexibility. I'm just like, wow, this block.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, depending on what kind of cheese, because they're soft cheeses, right?
Oh.
So you can't be like brie or some of the runny,
No.
stinky cheeses.
No. Stop poking me.
I'm trying to see if you're a hard cheese or a soft cheese. What's that squeak?
Squeak toy.
Fucking dog toy.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so
Hopefully you've got the camera facing you guys at this point, like, so they can see you. Like, are you a hard cheese? Like, are you a soft cheese?
no,
What an interesting litmus test. What kind of cheese are you?
Oh, I would probably.
a stinky cheese.
No, I'd probably identify as just probably one of the Mexican cheeses. Monterey. Monterey's good.
Okay. I like pepper jack cheese.
That's where I was gonna
But-
go.
Oaxaca cheese.
Well,
I'm-
I live in a slightly vegan household, so every once in a while, like, I still eat cheese and dairy and stuff like that, but I try not to buy it for the house. And I literally broke down yesterday and like just bought pepper jack cheese and Triscuits because I was like I just need a snack right now, and like this is it.
I'm the Fiesta.
Fortunately,
mix.
the Fiesta.
Yes.
Yes.
Can't hold this party back. That's all I'm saying.
Once you pop, fun don't stop. You're a Pringle.
Oh, you've crossed to a different, like, completely different product now. Like,
Yeah. Anyway, so
yeah. So anyway, aside from cheeses, yeah. So I don't know. Like, I just remember all those things growing up, just being coached and like try to act normal, try to act like a lady. Just absolutely no support and knowledge of being trans. And then puberty hit, and I did a YouTube video of me doing a story about that. Like, I tried to do from the fairy tale perspective of like, the foe that you cannot beat, right, is actually inside you. And for me that was puberty. Like, I could not make it go away. I could not stop it. Like, and things were happening that I didn't understand. And then like, I got my first period when I was like 11, and I remember my mom was like so excited and like, you're a woman now. And I remember like the little boy child voice inside of me just like, I don't understand. Like, I thought I was going to grow up, again, like I thought there was like a light switch you got to choose, and yeah, I had to really confront that and think like, okay, so I can't choose. I can't grow up and be you know, a man and look this way and act this way, and I have to make it go away, you know. And it was a very conscious decision to try to stuff the male, you know, energy and just make it go away. And I never really could. I was always uncomfortable trying to dress way, whatever. And you know, time goes forward. I went through my teenage years, lots of dysphoria, never knew how to define it. And then I get into my 30s, you know, which is now the early, like, you know, 2010, 2012 time. And I had a friend, like, who popped up out of nowhere. They had actually joined the military and came back and wanted to meet up and said, at the very end of it, like, out of nowhere, by the way, I'm going to start estrogen for transition. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Because this was like a manly man, right? Like,
Yeah.
never had a clue that this person, you know, identified feminine or anything like that. And they, you know, we just kind of were reconnecting, and they said, you know, I always remember you, you know, kind of identifying not as a female, and I think that you need to really do some research. And that's what I've been doing, right? Like, she had been doing the research. And man, it changed my whole world, right? Like, I had no idea that it was an option to go from female to male. And this is super ignorant, and I'm going to apologize in advance, but I really thought at the time that trans women were people who, like, had surgery, wore wigs, lived to the best of their ability as, like, women. I had no idea that HRT was a thing, and that you could go on estrogen and have all sorts of, like, and for some reason I just didn't know that you could literally just ask people to socially, like, transition with you, right? Like, you don't have to be on anything or have any surgeries. You can just be like, hey, like, I identify as a dude, please call me he, him, and, like, that's it. Like, I had no idea, you know? So when I finally did discover that, man, I did, like, just nosedive into the research and, you know, started exploring. Susan's Place was one of my first resources, and then I got on,
Right.
you know, Facebook support groups, you know, and, like, the more I found out about it, the more I felt this absolute aching, like, this is what I want in my life.
And it's amazing how when you're hitting that point that all the dots start connecting and you go, oh my God, that's it right there.
Yeah.
And it's like the board just keeps lighting up,
Yes.
you know, in front of you, and all the things start making sense, and, you know, you start looking back at those memories, and you're like, oh my God, this is it,
Yes.
you know. And I remember one night I came across a term, I can't remember what it was now, might have been like cisgender, right? Like, I came across a term and I thought to myself, well, why wouldn't they just call it gender normal? And my next thought was, well, but that would mean that I'm not gender normal. I'm gender abnormal. And that was the moment I realized, like, oh my God, I'm transgender. Like, because my immediate thought to myself being an asshole was to identify myself as the opposite. And it just all was like, oh my God, I'm transgender. Then, of course, the question of what to do about it. Do I come out? Do I stay in the closet? And those are the only choices you have. To the people that are like, oh, this is a choice. Like, no. The only choices you have are whether to come out or to, like, keep living in the closet, you know. And yeah, like, by the time I actually came out, I was about a week away from starting testosterone. Like, by the time I was ready, I was, like, ready. And, you know, my mom, of course, at the time was like, oh, this happened so quickly. And I was like, yeah, because I was terrified until I was, like, right on the cusp of doing it, you know? So, for reference, that was 2014. I was 34 years old. And I moved really, really quickly. I got on T, I changed my name and I had my surgery. I had my surgery and then I changed my name because in my state that counted as a sex reassignment, and you could change your birth certificate. You know, and yeah, that was 2015, and around that time is when I had a couple of friends hit me up and say, hey, you know, you have thought about joining the military a couple of times in your past, and, you know, like you're a martial artist, you like these GORUK challenges, which are like civilian events where you go out and you do like special forces style like training. It's like team building. They're like, you're really into that. You're really into the martial arts. Like you're, you know, you've talked about wanting to do this and having regret, and they're going to be looking at the policy for trans people joining the military, and they're reviewing it, and it might change. And I think you need to think about it. I think it might be a good, you know, path for you. And of course, you know, like I just talked about with the trans stuff, I did a lot of research, and, you know, I was already like 35 years old. So I was like, ugh, you know, is this a thing? Is it possible? And I just did a lot of reflecting, and I was like, God, this is something I have wanted to do for a really long time. And if I don't go for it now, I'm always going to have this what if feeling, this regret, which I had already had, you know, after like 9/11, I thought about joining, you know, and I didn't. And I looked back on that and I regretted it. So I was like, okay, if I don't do it now, it's never gonna happen, and I'm always gonna have this what if-ism in my head. And also at the time, you know, I had been in food service. I never went to college. You know, I left my home and my family when I was 17 because of just, you know, issues at home. And I was always living paycheck to paycheck, like in food service. And I was like, this is my opportunity to break that cycle. You know, and the more research I did, the more I was like, this answers so many things, you know, like, and I was like, okay, you know, full send. I don't, I am like a on or off kind of guy. I don't like gray areas. So I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, let me go for it. And, I got in contact with a recruiter in either 2016 or 2017. And, you know, because of the channels and stuff that I have within the military, I actually told him, I was like, hey, they're reviewing this policy and I'd like to be ready for whenever it changes, which we thought was going to be 2017. And he, you know, I lucked out when he answered that phone. A lot of recruiters will be like, hey, call me back when you're eligible. Like, I don't have time. Like, which they don't. They are working with multiple candidates and whatever. So a lot of them will just be like, dude, call me back when you're eligible. Like, I don't have time for this. He did not do that. He was so open to the conversation. He reached out to his chain of command, and he worked with me. Ultimately, it was for a couple of years before the policy even changed. And he had me come in and work with his delayed entry group. It's called a DEP group. And he's like, hey, come in and work out with us and just learn about what they're getting ready to do. So when it's your turn, you'll be more informed, you know? And I did that for literally years.
Yeah.
And that's what that video that we talked about before,
Right.
I will never falter and I will not fail. I did that storytelling event when I came back from technical school. So I had gotten in, you know, and it was that whole period of time of going back and forth and, you know, waiting for the policy to change, and then it got delayed for like a year, and, you know, in the meantime, just trying to stay qualified, you know, physically, legally is a thing. Like, they're like, don't get too many like tickets, or don't get in trouble with the law. Like, stay qualified. And physically was a big deal. I've always had like a yo-yoing weight problem, and you have to be like under your max weight like by 5 pounds, you know, and I'm 5'2", so max weight for me was like
$120.
150, you know. I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Nightmare.
I said
It was
$120.
Yeah, not quite, but I had to stay under that by like 5 pounds, and my recruiter was like, even more so because I'm right at 5'2". He's like, you better be standing up like perfectly straight, or they're gonna measure you 5'1".
Where your platforms
And-
that day?
Like, oh no, you're barefoot. Oh no, you're barefoot in your underwear at MEPS. When they measure you, you are literally like in a pair of like boxer briefs
And-
or like tidy whities.
You had transitioned at this point, right? So
That's correct.
how awkward was that going into this thing like that as a trans person being in your underwear out there in front of everybody?
Not a big deal. I again, I do like martial arts and stuff. So once I came out, even socially, and started like binding, I started passing, which is a privilege. And I started making women uncomfortable in the women's locker room, and I just went to the men's locker room. You know what I mean? So by that point, let's see, I went to MEPS in 2018, December 2018 is when I went through the military entrance processing station. So I had already been living as a male for like 4 years and doing the men's locker rooms, and stuff like that. So by that point,
But
You know.
were you still binding at this point?
no, I had my top surgery in 2015.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Never mind then.
And yeah, the other thing about MEPS is that you are all super uncomfortable and you're all nervous, except like, there's people that are like, just, they don't get nervous about things. And I'm always like, "Ugh, what's it like to be you?" Because I get so nervous. So for the most part though, you're in a room full of other dudes in their underwear, and they
Sign me
don't
up.
want to get caught looking at another dude in his underwear because you might get accused of being gay, right? Like gay shaming is a real thing. So and you're all worried that you have to do these weird exercises in your underwear. So like they have you like
Bend
hopping
over.
across the floor and doing the duck walk. The bend over type stuff is private. That's with an actual doctor.
I
but
was
that
just
does
thinking
happen.
like touch your toes kind of thing, but sure.
Yeah, yeah. Bend over and touch your toes. Yeah, I'm thinking more the
I mean, jump frog
The
works,
invasive
but leapfrog works.
yeah. But yeah, it wasn't like, for the most part, I was just thinking more about, making sure that I was following their directions, because it's your first real experience with like military minded. Like they come out, you get there early the day you go to like actual MEPS and you get ready to like ship. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and they come out and they go full like yelling,
Yeah.
like get in the line, because there's a bunch of people there that all need to get processed, and it has to happen
Chaos.
quickly. And they it's they want everything perfect, and so like you don't want to step out of line, and stand out. And I actually saw a guy get sent home within the first 15 minutes,
Whoa.
like because he had braces, and he was about to ship to basic training, and you cannot have braces at basic training. You have to get them removed. And the doctor, I mean, it's like 5:30 in the morning, and the doctor's like, "Why do you have braces? You were supposed to get those removed." And the dude like got defensive, and she was like, "You need to stop arguing with me." And he's like, I'm not arguing. And I'm sitting there just like, stop talking, just stop answering her, like, just stop, like, you don't step out of line. And they send him home. She was like, answer me one more time, with that tone of voice, and I will send you home. And he was getting defensive. He was, and he was like buckling down that he was allowed to have them or something, and he was going to get I don't know, I don't remember, but it was like argumentative. And they were like, yeah, go out to the lobby and call your recruiter and like have them come pick you up. You're done.
Bye.
Bye. Like, come back
Jeez.
when you're ready. First of all, get your braces taken off and come back, but also come back when you have the right attitude. And like in the meantime, I'm sitting there just like, like do not, So by the time you get to the underwear part, and the peeing in the cup part and stuff like that, like you are just like,
You're
you
already
just don't want to
shocked.
stand out and get in trouble, Yeah.
Blend in, blend in.
But yeah, so I don't know. I got out of my timeline, but yeah, it took years for me to actually qualify and stuff, and there was a lot of, discouragement and like this is something I really genuinely want, and I really need this, and it's gonna change my life and stuff, and it went back and forth. You're disqualified for this. Come back with this paperwork for like over a year.
Yeah.
And then it happened. I actually got in and went and did basic training, and I was at that point, like I said, I joined as male, so I was with an all male flight, which is what you're called in the Air Force. And yes, open bay showers, and open bay dormitory, like there is no privacy. And I talk about it in that video. Like the first night you get like no sleep, and they come in and they do like the full, you're called military training instructors, MTIs, but for most people they call it a drill sergeant, right? They did the full basic training drill sergeant like style wake up of like slamming lockers and like yelling in people's faces like get up, and I'm standing at attention like by my wall locker, and like this little part of me was like, oh my god, this is awesome. Like I'm here. And
yell at me,
yeah.
Do it again.
No, don't yell at me, but like, this is it. This is what I've been wondering about. Like, am I ever going to like experience this? And yeah, like this just very tiny part of me was like, oh my god, like it's real, it's happening, like, and then the rest of me was just like terrified, like everybody else. Like you can't, like you don't have the right answer. Sometimes they're doing that thing where they're like, do this, no, do this, don't do this, do this, and there is no right answer for a reason. They want to see how you're gonna like react,
Yeah.
And yeah, like I was just mostly terrified for like the first week.
Looks good on our
so you just went, oh my god, it's happening, and then you got through training, and then what?
And then you get your orders, to your first duty station. And this is your job now. You signed a contract, and you have the responsibility to get yourself, to your duty station. I had a little bit of leave. Yeah. What
job did you sign up for?
Security forces, which is like military police, but it's the Air Force's version, and you do a lot more. You do kind of 50-50 between security and actually policing.
You're like stacking chairs.
And I really wanted to be... Huh?
You're like stacking chairs.
Not too much, no. I did security for 4 years at my first duty station, and then I did more of a policing role at my second duty station, but I really wanted to be a dog handler. A canine handler,
right?
And that's why I went security forces, and that didn't happen. First of all, I had like a major like thing going on with my shoulder, and it's the shoulder that the dog is gonna like catch. Yeah. And I did that once, and by then it was after COVID. I was already 40 or 41, and my body was like, this is probably not the right thing to do. I revisited it a couple times because I really wanted to do it, but every time it was a physical issue, especially with that shoulder. And the thing is with jiu-jitsu, you can tell your partner like, hey, I have this shoulder thing, like could you, if you get an armbar, don't crank me too hard, I'll just tap. You cannot tell a dog like, hey dude, take it easy on like my shoulder. That dog, you are like that dog's toy, and you have the sleeve on, and the dog just like catches you and just starts shaking and like rocking and rolling, and if your shoulder can't keep up with it, that's on you. It's just not the right thing for you. So yeah, I got in. I showed up at my first duty station, and like literally in my outline that I didn't send you, because I typed it super late. I thought I had it saved from a different talk that I did over the summer, and I didn't.
You'll notice on page 45 in the third paragraph where I
right,
make this quote.
it just says, like after all that prep and all that, like, trying so hard, like, okay, I got in, this is your job now, and it just says literally got in, learned, grew, struggled, grew, blah, 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 like dot, dot, dot.
That is
like, 'cause
very
that was my life.
descriptive.
I love it.
Literally, that was my life for the first, like, 6 months to a year at my first duty station. Like, there was a lot of culture shock,
Sure.
But that's also really normal. Like a lot of people are going through that, like trying to adapt, right? And trying to get in line, trying to learn your job, and it passed, right? So then life just became, now you're just in the military. And there's a couple things I want to say about that, right? Like life in the military as a trans person is just normal life in the military, which is super weird. It can be good, it can be super uncomfortable. You have to learn how to play the game, right? And the game is to embrace the suck, be decent at it, be good at your job,
Keep your head down.
and then be able to mentor others in those two things. And by embracing the suck, there's sort of like the actual like suck, which is like deploying and living a hard life, living intense, doing the super HUA, special forces stuff, but also living the suck for somebody like me who's just, a nonner, right? Like your life can still suck. Like you are living far away from your family. You're told, hey, I need you here at like 3:00 in the morning. Like, I know it was your day off. I need you to come in at 3:00 in the morning. Like, that's also the suck, and you need to just embrace it and really run with it, But the trans part of it didn't have any real bearing on my day-to-day life. You're just a person in the military. Like, you're not special,
Right.
And I didn't have any needs because I was already transitioned. So I just came in and was just like, okay, like, go do your job, And as far as a job, like on a day-to-day basis, it's just a job.
Were you taking
It's just-
testosterone at this time?
Yeah, I've been on T since 2014 and still am.
Okay.
And there's a waiver for that, basically, when you have to go on long-term
Yeah.
medication. You get a waiver for it, and if it's not gonna like kill you to be off of it, yes, you can deploy. You just have to be stable on a certain dose, and they, it's just a records keeping thing, And I had that before I deployed in 2024. I had all that done. I had the waiver, and then you just take your supply with you. And like, I took, for a 6-month deployment, I took a 6-month supply and then a little extra in case I got stuck there or whatever.
Yeah.
And also, the thing is, it's not gonna, you're not going to die if you go off of testosterone. It's not like insulin.
I would die if I
Correct.
went on testosterone.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's ramifications if I ran out or whatever, but
Going off of
that's
this saved me.
Yeah. You had I like to call it like I had estrogen poisoning, so you had the opposite, right?
I
Like you had the
love that.
testosterone poisoning. But yeah, I mean, it's just a job, and you need to learn your job. You need to get good at learning your job quickly and get good at changing, quickly. And it's just a job that has weird rules, like customs and courtesies. Like a normal corporate job, you don't have to remember when you're walking down the street to not carry anything in your right hand in case you need to salute. Like, it's just a job that has weird rules,
I didn't know that was
Like,
a
does that make
thing.
sense?
Yeah.
That's a thing. Yeah, because you
that's
have to
new to me.
salute officers, right? Like, so when you're walking down outside in uniform, right, you want to keep stuff in your left hand so that you can, give your courtesy.
Yeah.
So it's just like a job that has really weird rules, like, and also, how you look. You have to stay in regs. Your hair has to be cut a certain way. Like, females can't have certain colors of nail polish or yada yada, or so many piercings in each ear. Like, it's just a job that has really like strict rules. And that's just been my life for like the last 6.5 years, you know. But I'll say it is a job, you know, having mentioned nails and stuff like that, it's a job that is like very, very gendered, you know.
Yes.
And everything, like your housing, your showering, everything is separated by gender, you know, and there is no gender neutral like titles or anything like that. So I knew some non-binary people that you're just like, you have to choose like which pronouns and title you want. Are you sir or are you ma'am? Like,
I mean,
and you have to live in those worlds, you know.
So if that's the case, then whenever you're using the shower in the gendered areas, I mean, it was very clear. I'm assuming it was very clear that you were trans.
Sure, if anybody was looking.
Right.
And that's the thing, is that so many people guys don't want to get caught looking because they're gonna get gay shamed. They're gonna. It's like, oh, you know, why are you looking at this guy's, you know, area? Like, what do you know, whatever. And like the zero tolerance stuff, you're not allowed to use slurs and stuff. That's really serious. They take that stuff really, really seriously.
Good.
But
Good.
there's still the shaming part,
Yeah.
right? Like, so, you know, when you're in that group shower, when you're in the group shower in basic training, you have minutes to shower. It's one of the things that they do from day one. You have less than 10 minutes to get undressed, in the shower, washed, out of the shower, redressed, and make sure your uniform from the next day, it's called your night display, is hanging. And it's got to be hung perfectly, right? And like, you don't have time to be in there like looking at anything other than like trying to get showered and out of there, you know. And then sometimes they take away that time, right? If you mess up, they're like, oh, your hygiene routine just got cut from 10 minutes to 8, and everybody's like, it's so hard.
So
like, try timing yourself.
So do you have like set times of when you're allowed to shower and not shower? Like that's
In
not
basic training, you do. Yeah.
Okay. So after that, it's not like you have like okay.
No, but if you're in a training environment, so pre-deployment training, you know, we had the same thing where we're all, you know, in a big, massive dormitory, because, you know, in the Air Force we don't have barracks, we have dorms. You know, we're a little bit more comfortable. We're not living in tents, you know, for the most part. Like, but you had like a one bathroom per floor that had like 8 shower heads.
Oh wow.
And like they're right next to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is still a thing in some of those environments. And you know, when you get back from training and it's been 115 degrees and you're wearing all your gear, like, yeah, it becomes like a thing. Like everybody's, you know, all the 50 some odd people are trying to get into that 8 shower head stall thing. And you really just, I don't know, it never goes away. Like, I remember walking into that and people were like, oh God, group showers again? And it's like, yeah, like this is a thing that's gonna recur throughout our lives, you know,
So
in the military. Like,
if this is something that like people at this point, people know you're trans. No?
not really. No. But, because here's the thing, is that I've just lived, you know, in the military as a guy. And if it comes up, it comes up. That's how I deal with things. If it comes up, I just deal with it very naturally,
Okay.
right? Like, but if it doesn't come up, if there's no reason for me to tell people that I'm trans, I just don't say anything.
Of course. I'm just,
You know?
the thought was for the people that did know, like, how was that received and accepted?
Kind of a mixed bag. You know, there were people that definitely did push away from wanting to be around me. It is a very cliquey environment,
Fair.
you know, and so there were people that would kind of push away. I'm also gay, and so that doesn't that adds to it, right?
Yeah.
That actually was the first thing that was a problem when I was training at my first duty station. I got engaged, and people were just trying to get to know you as the new guy. And so
Yeah.
I would just talk about that normally, too. Like, oh, yeah, like, my boyfriend, like, blah, 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 blah. And somebody at some point got uncomfortable with that. and like went to my flight chief and was like, I don't want to work with this guy. He makes me uncomfortable. And my flight chief was like, it's 2020. Like, grow up. Like,
Oh,
get over
good.
that right now.
Oh, good.
Good.
You know? And they did let me know about it. Kind of like maybe be more careful about what you say. You know,
And
we
I
don't
think
wanna
that's
tell you
really
not
shitty
to
because they
talk,
can turn
you
around
know?
and talk about their girlfriends all the fucking time, you know, and that's totally
Right.
okay. But you turn around and throw something in that makes someone the least bit of comfortable, and they turn around, they're like, "Hey, you're the problem," and
Right.
I hate
Yeah.
that.
And that was exactly, you know, what they were kind of told was like, this is this guy's life. Like, don't let it make you uncomfortable. Like, grow up.
Yeah,
You know, and you can't request not to work with him because his life makes you uncomfortable. No,
right.
I never did find out who that was, and I'm kind of glad, you know. But they did tell me, so I knew, like, just to kind of be careful, and especially like, don't ever make it seem like I was trying to flirt with somebody, because then they could actually try to,
Oh yeah,
you know,
sexual
actually
abuse
complain.
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
or harassment at least.
Harassment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But the trans part, like, it didn't come up. It wasn't a thing that needed to be talked about ever. And it's
Right.
not something that, like, you know, like I had said, like, oh, my boyfriend, right? Like, I never kind of was like, oh, my transition. Because it was old news. It was
Right.
done,
Right.
Yeah.
you know? So it just never really came up. Unless I was trying to educate somebody. You know, people would sometimes ask questions, or somebody would come out somewhere on base and people would be like, well, what does this mean, or whatever. I would educate them, and sometimes it would come up, and I would just say it very naturally. It was never like a sit down, we need to talk, you know, like, I've got something to tell you. Like, I don't come out that way anymore. I refuse to, you know. And then the thing is that the gossip train is real, you know, and that
Yes.
is part of my my like little outline here. Is the not so good part is that being different in the military is really hard because you're already isolated.
Yes.
Like, people get very cliquey. People do talk about people who are different,
Yes.
you know, and so once the wrong person knows, now everybody's going to know. The gossip train just starts,
Sure.
and there's no way to stop it.
Right.
So, you know, in my like pre-deployment training, some of the people that were there did know, and there was a guy who I didn't really get along with who knew, who probably started that gossip train going, but it never caused an issue. Like, I never had somebody like get in my face about it.
Good.
Nobody ever confronted me about being in the bathroom or the shower or anything like that. Nobody's like looking like, you know, down at your parts or your chest or whatever. The chest thing, you know, because you're walking around with like a, you know, I've got the scars, right?
Right.
And so occasionally people would say like, oh, what happened to your chest? And I would just say, oh, I had a couple of birth defects removed, you know, which is
There
like
you
kind of
go.
like a little in joke,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, nobody ever like really got crappy about it.
You should just
Other
have
than
like the
your
most
shirt,
wild story and
you know?
just be like, oh, I was out chopping wood with my uncle and this saw got away from him, you know? Like,
Right.
I got attacked by a bear.
I like to,
Got attacked by a
Got
bear
attacked by a bear.
yeah, by a bear. Error.
with a
I-
little claw.
I like the story from Back to the Future. You know, like, oh, I was hanging a clock in my bathroom and this and that happened, and that's, you know, where I had the vision for the time, you know, whatever.
You might be
Like,
wondering how I
Doc
got to
Brown's
this
old,
point.
like, story.
I'm happy you asked. Buckle
Yeah,
up.
but I mean, for the most part, people just like either didn't know or didn't treat me differently, or they talked about it behind my back,
Right.
and like it just never became like a thing.
Cool.
So now you're caught up. That's my whole story. I know that was probably about 45 minutes of me talking. I'm a talker, you know, and it's 45 years of my life. So,
Do you have,
you know, I had to catch up.
I'm trying to make sure you have an hour and a half or just half an hour?
It's 5 o'clock for me. I
So
have
you
to
have
leave
half
by
hour?
like 6:30. Yeah, no,
Oh,
I
6:30.
don't teach until 7:30 tonight, so I've got tons of time.
Sweet.
So, but
okay.
I know you also have time frame.
Oh, I
like,
got plenty time.
constraints and
Yeah,
stuff.
we're good.
You know.
Okay, so you you join the military, everything's going good, and then shit hits the fan. You go on a deployment. Where was the deployment? Can I ask that?
It was in the Middle East.
Oh, very nice. But
Yeah.
was it okay or just an absolute shitstorm?
It was a little of column A, a little column B. Again,
Fair.
you know, I'm in the Air Force, so
Right.
we are more of a support role.
Right.
You know, so we're not always in those deep combat. So obviously, some Air Force does go do that, but that wasn't my
Right.
job. I was securing a base that had a flight line that had to get supplies to those places,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
my job was to secure that base so that those supply chains didn't get interrupted and
That's
and
fair.
stuff like that.
So
You know.
this was something that you had worked along to, and from the YouTube video that I watched, you were really excited. Like you were excited to be deployed, right? Because you this was something
yeah.
that you had wanted. You get deployed. What's that like?
I mean, deployment is one of those uncomfortable. I'm trying so hard not to breathe into this thing. I just
You're
heard it.
totally
you're
Just heard
fine.
my- Okay. Yeah, deployment is uncomfortable because, you know, you're isolated. You take only a certain amount of things with you.
Yeah.
You're in a room with I think I moved into a dorm before the last team left. There was already 4 guys in there with 3 bunk beds, you know, and it's uncomfortable. But my thing was that I really wanted to go do it because when I joined, I wanted to serve. I wanted to complete the mission.
Yeah.
And that's part of the mission,
Yeah.
you know. And you have to learn really fast.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is that you are going to overlap with an outgoing team by a matter of weeks. You
Okay.
know, and you have to learn from them everything, and then you have to be up to speed, go do your job,
Just really
you know.
intense.
And yeah. So that's what deployment is like.
Okay.
And I was having a great time over there. You know, it's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
We were in a very tight schedule. But my other thing is that, you know, I'm really passionate about my religion,
yes.
and I'm a Jew,
Right.
and I was in the Middle East, and I was like, I really, really want to meet Muslims, and I really want to interact with them, and you know, all that. And we did. Obviously, the base we were on was their space, and then we had a little part of it. And I just reached out, and I was like, hey, I want to. You know, I became the international club's vice president, and I was like, hey, I want to present about your country and your job here, and I just started organizing stuff like that. So that was my big thing, is when I'm sort of, you know, when I'm sort of uncomfortable,
Yeah.
or outside of my own comfort zone, I find projects to keep myself busy,
Right.
Sure.
you know. And so I just went into that hardcore.
Right.
And we were actually locked down on a base. We couldn't go into the local area, so nobody could go meet the locals really, and nobody could go eat local food, which was stuff that people had talked about. I want to try this food and stuff.
Aw.
So I organized that. I got stuff. You know, I organized an event and got the food and had some people come and present and stuff like that. You know, and yeah, I just start kind of projects like that, and my thing is as a Jewish person, you know, in a Muslim country, there is a notion that Jews and Muslims can't get along, and I want to fix that. I want to see, you know, change in the world, and so I just went and met some people and was like, hey, can you help me pull off this event, and can you speak at it, you know.
A Jew, a Muslim, and a
yeah.
Christian walks onto an army base.
Right, yeah.
I was going to ask what, because
Air Force.
huh?
Nothing.
Oh, because I I am not. I am not familiar with religion. I have no, affiliation. What was the main reason, or what is the main reason why they don't get along?
I mean, that's a long conversation.
Is that a loaded question?
It is. It is, because that
Okay.
would go back into a lot of history.
I'm assuming beliefs, but I really
It
don't
is
know.
beliefs, because there's like a lot of fighting over like religious land, as well as like cultural differences, and I mean, there's a long history behind it.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, that was the best like Cliff Notes version that you could ask for. It's a historic thing, and fighting over lands that we both see as our holy lands. You know, and it's more complicated than that, but that's the general gist of it,
And and you were essentially English is hard. You were essentially trying to figure out how to bridge and make everyone be friends.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
Lock them
in
in a
Judaism
room.
we yeah, exactly, fight it out. In Judaism we have this notion of repairing the world, and so your job on this plane, on this earth, in this spiritual plane, is to make this world a better place. And so as a Jewish person who was going to a Muslim space, like I was like, okay, let me see how I can bridge this divide and therefore heal some of that wound, repair some of that damage that's been done in the world by just showing that we can absolutely work together and get along. And it was great. I had two individuals that
Nice.
were working with me, and we were like sampling each other's food, because I was getting in shipments. I became another project I started over there. I became the Jewish lay leader, so I was able to lead services and social events for the Jewish population. And we had all the holidays there. We had Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Hanukkah, and then Passover.
That's where
all
you
during
eat
my
Cocoa Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
He's like, sure, that's what it is. You know what?
Just go with it.
I
Just go
like
with it.
cereal.
Oh, I love cereal.
I love
Oh my
cereal.
god, it's such a guilty pleasure because I think I'm eating healthy and it's really all sugar. Yeah.
I feel like
But
I'm
yeah, I
really
was,
good at derailing this train.
No, I mean, I was, yeah, I don't know where the Cocoa Puffs comes up in Judaism, but I love that
It
you
doesn't.
went there.
It came
and we
up in
went
my
into
head.
cereal. Yeah,
It
okay.
just came up in my head. That's all. You were saying because you're Jewish, you were able to receive a bunch of things, and that's
I was getting care packages from the Jewish Soldiers Association. They were sending stuff overseas and sending, food, and I would be like, "Oh, okay, so here's a Jewish food," and I would share it with them. And then, like, our next meeting, the one guy came in with like these little like candies, and he's like, "Oh, this is like a, and we would just share, and that's like, my God, that goes back to like ancient history, like literally like breaking bread together, like sharing each other's cuisines is like one of the ways that we share culture.
I mean, isn't that like forgive me for not knowing here, but is that like a cracker, essentially?
So that's Passover,
Oh.
and what you're thinking of is matzah, and it's the unleavened bread, which looks like a big giant like square cracker. Yeah, that's Passover.
Okay.
But I would never like go like, oh, here's my cultural bread. Here's this really dry off.
And it's just saltines.
I brought like if you know what babka is, babka is like a
Yes.
European,
Yes.
Eastern European. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a twisted chocolate,
Yes.
like brioche dough.
Yes.
Yeah, I had some of that sent in from the Jewish Soldiers Association, and I kept one for my community, which was 4 people, and then I like brought the other one to give to these 2 like Muslim guys and be like, hey, this is Jewish like food, and like we had it with with coffee, and then one guy made the coffee, they put stuff in it like when they brew it, and it's like spicy, like not like spicy like hot, but it's got like spice in it, and we were eating the 2 together and they went perfectly together. That was the cool thing, is like we had these 2 different cultural foods and they fit perfectly together. you know, and it just shows you like we're cousins, really.
Sure.
You know, we're very similar cultures, you know. And yeah, so I just poured all my energy into those little side projects, you know, and was just like having a great time while also being somewhat uncomfortable because you're working long hours and you're not at home, you know, and
Right.
you miss your holidays and stuff
Right.
like that, you know.
We've decided to make this a two-parter. We have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. We want to keep the conversation going, and so tune in for part 2.